Okay, we are back with another season of Ready to Love. We are back in Miami once again. However, this time we got 16 sexy new singles. We have one man that's not getting a lot of love, and at the end of the night, one woman, one man is eliminated. Welcome back to Romance Review TV. It's Lady T. I got another recap for you guys. Ready to Love Season 7, Episode number 1, 16 Sexy Singles. And without any further ado, let's talk about what happened in this episode. So, from 20 to 16, as we know, since Ready to Love is always trying to mix things up in so many different ways, we get to meet the new singles, and many of them seem to have potential connections going from the start. So, let's talk about these initial connections. So let's talk about both Lyndon and Blue, who likes Mercedes, who shares with Corvea, being the youngest in the group at age 31. However, things took a left turn when it came to both Lyndon and Corvea.
Corvea, she has her limits, she has her bounds. It's just a lot of judgment. There is no way in hell that me and Corvea are gonna find a connection.
I was like, hey, I'm gonna settle for less than what I've already had. No.
The lightning came down when she said that last part.
However, Corvea does get along with Demario since they're both into fashion, and because she likes Demario being open about going to therapy too. Then we got Anthony, who likes Morgan since they're both strongly into their Christian faith. Then there's Blake and Jeffrey, as they share a moment when they at least feel like they can look at each other and be in agreement. But Jeffrey does also like Andre since his accent and his humor is appealing to her. Then we got Z. Now, while she likes Demario, who is very popular amongst the ladies, she also appreciates him opening up about his sister and his family. And I don't know, it seems that there might not be some form of reciprocity there, mainly because since both of them like to be alpha in the relationship, which can more than likely be a problem. And after 7 seasons and 8 group of singles, we've seen multiple loves come out of the past. One of them, of course, being Riva and Mario, Cornelius and Camille, who's still going strong. Also, notably and newly engaged, Joy and Clifton. And then recent, of course, Kadian and Swayze. And then Brandy and Mike. But on this episode, we had setting a precedent, Simone and Rashid. Now, like I said, we've had a lot of episodes, a lot of seasons, but Simone and Rashid made a return, and after mingling and giving advice, Rashid proposes, which of course set the precedent for the men and leads some of the women to expect nothing less by the end of this journey. So now one woman, one man has to be eliminated. And starting with the men. We got somebody on the show that isn't so tall. He's not like an athlete or anything or have that whole athletic build. He might not be thin or have all of these typical, of course, attributes. However, when it comes to Dre, he is shorter than a good portion of the women in this show, and especially because they're wearing heels. And even though his personality is, very nice guy, they can't get past the height. And the interesting thing about that is, of course, we have the inclusion for, weight when it comes to body positivity, but it really doesn't give us focus or a spotlight on height, especially when it comes to shorter men. And it's usually, there's a lot of things that's thrown at men, short man syndrome, different things like that. And everybody have preferences. But in this case, Dre got no love as he was at the bottom. Also at the bottom was Blake. Now he got the height, maybe even a little charming. He's very direct and straightforward, which I can appreciate in a man who knows what they want and know what they stand on. However, his main issue is not wanting more kids and making it seem like children are broken if they're coming from a single parent home. Now, this has been a topic of conversation, especially in the relationship spaces over the past couple years. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of statistics, I think, is what he's speaking from. However, the conversation did not sit well with the women. So he also ended up in the bottom too. Okay, let's talk about the ladies in the bottom two. Z gets the dreaded homegirl vibes, which of course doesn't sit too well with the guys. As for Natasha, it seems that most don't see any depth when it comes to possibly being with her. Despite the label of death and Natasha not being interesting to the men, it's a double elimination episode. Only one of each goes home. So who is that going to be? So who's not ready to love? Dre and Natasha was eliminated. Okay, so who could be out the door next when it comes to the men? Blake might be one, especially with him not wanting kids, but I think he's a lot older and he has older children. And it seems most of the women want kids, and that is probably going to be a deal breaker. Next eliminated with the women, maybe Marcia, which wasn't mentioned in the like or dislike category. So, with Z rather stepping it up, Marcia might end up being the least in the bottom two. And then who could be at the end of this season that might make good couples? Maybe Demario and Corvea, Anthony and Morgan. And then I guess we got to keep watching to see who else would probably fit in that category. So yeah, I mean, pretty much I will say about the show, it's supposed to push people to step outside of their usual preference and question if maybe that is why they haven't found anything when it comes to love. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. What usually happens is somebody gets stuck on one person and then that other person open themselves up to other people. What else I would say that they should change on the show is that once you are a solid couple, maybe give them a pass to step outside of it, especially get close to the end of the season, because why are you still circular dating if you finally found your person? It only makes the whole thing harder. I guess it drums up more drama for the show itself, but yeah, and it creates more love triangles too. But once you found that person, maybe kind of put them in a category where they now start to build upon something solid with each other, instead of saying, well, who you connecting with over here with this and this and this person, especially when you found your person and now you're in at the end of the season. So I don't know. We got to see. It's a smaller group of folks. Look like it's going to be accelerated. The drama is definitely clearly ahead from what we saw in the preview. So we got to stay tuned. So let me know. Let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. What do you think about our remaining singles? Also, too, who do you think are going to be the solid couples in the end that you see potential? And what do you think about the whole thing with Dre, him and his height? And of course, whether or not height should be included as well, especially when it comes to men in the dating world as part of the whole body positivity movement. So I hope you enjoyed this recap. Stay tuned for more recaps. The seasons of all of the shows are ramping up for 2023. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Bye.